Okay, so I was working on the auction Outrun that I picked up, and I pulled the board out because I was worried that the board might be dead. And I had a few spare boards, so I actually took the main board off and attached it to a new video board and brought it back out, and I got the same thing happening. Of course, I swapped it with a known working video board just to kind of rule out the video board. And I still got the one down to 1 volt drop at the board, and nothing happened. So before I swapped everything back, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go put this in a machine that I know works. I put it into the Outrun in the basement with the good video board and the existing main board, and it worked. So then I swapped it back to the original configuration with the main board and its matching video board, and put that in the Outrun machine downstairs in the basement, and that worked. So I'm pretty excited. So that's telling me that it's probably a power issue. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is, I've got another power supply that I've kind of just had off to the side. So I'm gonna go ahead, we're gonna put this power supply in, and maybe it'll possibly work. But I did notice that while I'm looking around inside of the cabinet in here, it does have some things disconnected. It looks like kind of here and there. So it's kind of probably hard to see, it's really dark in there, but so some things may or may not work. So before I dive into that, I'm gonna swap out the power supply and see if that fixes it. And if that doesn't fix it, there's some other power issue down here in the bottom. So let's go ahead and swap out the power supply. Maybe it's just a simple fix. But the good thing is, for this Outrun here, this board works. So that's exciting. So my $175 for this Outrun machine has been justified. It's now worth more than 175 bucks. I mean, yeah, it's got the cracked control panel, but the monitor displays something. So let's go ahead and see what happens, and maybe I'll actually have 2 real working Sega Outrun machines. Now that I've got 3 cabinets, it'd be good to get rid of some of these things. But it's kind of hard getting rid of an empty shell, especially these Outruns that just happen to be a dime a dozen, but never with a working board. So let's go ahead and swap out the power supply and see what happens. So for a point of reference, I just wanted to show this is a switching power supply, and it's dark in here and the light's flickering. Let's see if that stays. But we've got 5 volts up here at the top, and then ground, and the 5 volts is this yellow wire here, and then we've got the 2 white for the ground, our field ground down here, and then our AC lines in. So we're gonna go ahead and match that up with the new power supply, and hopefully that takes care of it. Okay, so we put the new power supply in. The board's all attached. 5 volts has been checked on the power supply before I plug this in, although we know the board does work because we tested it in the other machine. So we're just kind of hoping that there's not a bigger power issue. So let's go ahead and plug it in and see what happens. Got a red light on the PCB. I can hear it going. The monitor takes a little bit to warm up. It works though. It's got some jail bars. It needs a cap kit. But other than that, I mean, marquee light doesn't work, but that's okay. That's an easy fix. We've even got 1 coin door working. I'm gonna go ahead and pop in a credit. This is awesome. I'm excited that my auction gamble actually paid off. I mean, we powered it on there and it didn't work. Brought it back here yesterday, powered it on, voltage was dropping. Just turns out it's a bad power supply. So let's go ahead and put a credit in and see what works and doesn't work. I'm betting that the steering wheel motor is not working because I think it's disconnected. I'll have to compare between the 2 machines, but let's go ahead and start.
Get ready.
So we're gonna test. All right, so I'm not pushing the gas pedal. I'm gonna push the gas pedal We're off. We're kind of drifting to the left a little bit. Yep, we're drifting to the left when I let go of the steering wheel. But it does turn left and right. Okay. Yeah, I just crashed and the steering wheel didn't do a thing. Alright, yep, we definitely steered to the left a little bit. Needs an alignment. Let's see if I can get this thing to shift. Just to make sure that shifter works. Man, this is kind of tough playing with the jail bars, huh? Alright. Yep, and we shift. Let's check the brakes. Yeah, look at that. Alright, so this works. This is super exciting. I'm excited that it works. I'm gonna go ahead and call this a success for an auction gamble. It was a risk. I didn't know what I was getting into. Turns out it was just a power supply. So yeah, definitely don't dismiss any of these games yet at an auction. It's too bad that you can't bring another power supply to test everything with. It's also probably a good thing. It needs some potentiometer work, or at least an alignment for the steering wheel. But other than that, we're good to go. Awesome. All right. Thanks, guys. I'll keep you guys updated, and we'll go from there.